Live from Oahu, Hawaii, this is your motivational, sensational, inspirational, educational, keenly awaited, highly anticipated edition of the Afternoon Swing Training Forward with your humble host, Andrew Barbosa and Jeremy Alexander Newsom with another daily dose of mentally delicious brain food, reminding each of you to love life, live life, and trade it. What's going on, traders from around the world? Hope you're doing wonderfully, sensationally fantastic. It is Thursday today. Can you believe it? Wow. Already Thursday. And it's January, and it's the 12th of January, which means tomorrow is Friday the 13th, which I don't know if that is a precursor to the weirdness that was today, but maybe it is, you know. I don't know. Very strange day today out there. Very, very weird. One of those you're just battling all day and nothing gets done kind of day, and you're like, man, the stock market sucks. And then, then tomorrow or whatever, maybe the market will be better. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But it's just a weird day. Very strange. Very, very strange. So down 0.2R on the day trades and lost on the SPY weekly options about 0.79R. So lost about an R today, which is not a big deal. It's not strange at all. But what was strange is just some of the kind of movements that went down. Mark said full moon occurred today too. Oh, full moon on Friday the 13th tomorrow. Oh, man. Get ready for some wild stuff. So here's what's beautiful. So the option that we had, the weekly option, the 227 calls, the majority of people got stopped out. Some did, some actually did not. And here's the reason why. The low of today on the option was 49 cents, literally to the penny. So depending on your broker or the exchange, Melanie didn't get stopped out. John didn't get stopped out. Guarco didn't get stopped out. So there's a few people actually still in the trade. So if you are cool, if you got stopped out, no big deal, because the limit buy of $1.18 filled at less than 118 for everybody. So everyone got filled at like 102, 103. That was kind of the point, honestly, to get filled a little bit lower than that. So the good news is, lost less than R. That's the good news. Is there any bad news? Well, kind of, because earlier today, so again, when the market was just trading down, it had a pretty bearish gap. This is what happens. Let me go ahead and just take this off the screen. I get rid of this. I do have some good news about it all. So when this was occurring, you had yourself a little bit of an inverted head and shoulders pattern. Boom, boom, boom. So that candle came in. I was like, okay, sweet. Looks good. I like it. Let's see if I can get filled for some call options expiring tomorrow. So they're going to do a 220. Was it 227? No, it was the 226 calls expiring tomorrow. Yeah. So a 30-cent risk. That was the 30-cent risk, absolute zero on SPY. But that didn't fill, which, again, was a little strange. I thought that was odd that we didn't get any pullback. I was like, okay, whatever, no big deal. And I know this is going a little bit out of the way, but another weird thing is we got into a bullish trade on a day trade right here on a pullback, which I'm still fine with. But then at this point, the SPY was just going bananas, and this particular bullish trade that we got into did not. It actually went down like immediately. So just kind of a strange day. Yeah, a little weird. So the very first hour of the market, things were tanking. And then the last few hours of the market, it was just going haywire. So a lot of volatility. I missed 2 or 3 trades early this morning by pennies, which again will happen. So it's all about risk mitigation, right? What's most important? Really, before I start that statement, let me ask you a question. Have you ever woken up one day and got in front of the computer and felt a little different? And you're like, you know what? Today I'm going to try to make like $5,000. And if your R is like $200 or something, you're like, today is the day where I'm going to be making tons of money. You ever felt like one of those days? It happens to me pretty often, and that's why I have to remind myself. I'm like, whoa, oh boy. Anytime I feel that way, I usually don't trade that much, or I just walk away, because those are the dangerous days. So tomorrow, don't let that happen, is what I'm getting at. Mentally, my brain's already like, all right, fine. I lost today. Let me try to make 17 R's tomorrow, So just don't stress about it. Don't let one bad day or one bad trade ruin your trading career, because it can happen. That's the scariest thing about trading. One really bad day can just ruin everything for you. Trust me, I've been there. It sucks. So don't let it happen, right? Lose small. If you feel annoyed, if you feel stressed out, if you feel emotional, just don't trade. Don't trade when you're really emotionally compromised in some way. In fact, myself and Angie Barbosa, we actually have a video called the 5 moods not conducive for trading. 5 moods not conducive for trading. Remember making that video, Angie? Let's see if I can find it. Video. Where is it?
Isn't that the one we did at the Capitol building?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is right here. So I'll put it in the chat pane just in case anybody wants it. There you go. It is a really quick little video. So, emotionally compromised, definitely, it's something that, hey, if you have a bad day, a losing day, and down an R is not that big of a deal. It's just a normal, that's fine, just a normal thing. But just as a statement, anytime I feel that way, I know other people feel that way. So I just want to let you guys know that's part of real life trading, is just being real, not sweeping it under the rug and be like, oh, well, actually, I got out yesterday at the high. No. No. Got stops out today. So what's going to happen for the rest of January? I think I've made my decision. I'm going to make it a final decision tomorrow. But you guys are ready? Here it is. I'm going to draw in an arrow. Look really close to your screen. That's what I think happens for the rest of January. I think we continue to trade sideways, and we don't do anything at all exciting at all. It just chops around, which is great for this guy, the 212.50 put sale on SPY. And the other cool part about the weekly options newsletters, I did have one other trader, which I don't know if it's more than one, but one other trader who does the weekly options newsletter, not to do the trade that I'm in, but to get an idea of what direction I'm looking at on the trade so that he can take his credit spreads. So I have one trader who's in some bull put spreads, which will be expiring tomorrow and next week. Hopefully profitable, but definitely his 223, 222 tomorrow will expire just fine. So anyway, just that being said, I think the broader markets go very, very sideways for the rest of January. Could the inauguration do something different? Could we get something like this? Boom, 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 boom. Could that happen? Yes, of course. I do want a bigger pullback, and I'm ready for that. Here's your IWM. And since this is the free week, and we did have a weekly options newsletter out there for everybody, there is a 97% chance I will do a bonus real life weekly options newsletter here very soon once I can get a good trade for everybody, just as another freebie. Because I don't like going in a bad note. That's I was like, man, come on. It looked really good yesterday. And then this morning I was like, oh, snap. So anyway, the IWM, a little bit more bearish overall. Here's the Dow Jones, also just a smidge bearish. So yeah, I think we're going to continue to trade sideways. I don't think we're going to pop in January, and I think we're going to continue down a little bit lower. Bearish to neutral is just what I'm looking for. Obviously, we could continue higher, but I don't think I'm going to trade an actual index higher directionally. I'm probably going to go with an actual stock if I'm looking to take a directional trade. So we'll see. All right, so that's pretty much the broader markets. I mean, really, they're summed up with, we pulled back a little bit today, but I think we're just going to kind of continue to grind and trade sideways. The Qs, of course, closed with another white candle, but we did get a good pullback today. Today being Transportation Thursday, we have one stock to review. As of yesterday, we did get triggered into BERY Plastic. BERY Plastic. So I had one trader saying, Jeremy, how did you know we were going to pull back today? I didn't know for sure on BERY Plastic, but we had a lot of white candles. So we're in. Here's what the weekly chart on BERY looks like. And the weekly chart looks, fair to Midland. Here's your exponential moving averages, and our stop is below the 10 on the weekly. Here is the daily chart on BERY Plastics, and our stop again below that pivot. A little bit of a lower shadow today, and our stop is now below the 50. So yeah, we're probably gonna end up holding this trade. Hopefully it bounces bullish, but if we stay until earnings and we can be profitable, great. It is a swing trade, and that's only about 4 weeks away. So BERY Plastics with shares, we'll see what it does. Other than that, all right, cool. Let's get started, shall we? So that's BERY. BERY Plastics is done. I wonder if there's any other official trades. BERY Plastics is done. I wonder if there's any other official trades. A lot of traders are tracking eBay. Let me put that. A lot of you are tracking eBay because I posted this one in Trader Planet and also posted it through TradingView. eBay, I mentioned it yesterday. I want this trade to be in the green before next Tuesday. I did like the gap up today. I was digging that. And I will say, pretty obvious that it was a white candle yesterday. We gapped up today and we retested. How shocking. You know, how weird that happened. Here's the weekly look on eBay. And, you know, you got a little bit of an inside week candle. So I like it. We'll see how it closes. And hopefully by Tuesday, if I'm just a little bit profitable on it, I'll continue to hold until earnings. And I'll probably sell before earnings. And if you're in options, hopefully you're going to get some option increase from the implied volatility. Yeah, exactly. So, okay. So let's see. Jesse says, I'm still in one call somehow, LOL. And Linderman says, I got stopped out at 49 cents. Oh, rough. So, yeah, that's the thing, man. It's strange. It's very, very strange. It was a weird, weird day. Just on the SPY. But, hey, it's all good. It's all good. One other thing that I will mention before I start getting into any other stocks is this is one of those mentalities where you have to always keep in mind one candle can change everything. Right? That's one of the statements that I say all the time at Real Life Trading, especially in the afternoon room once we can see the carnage that has transpired for the day. That's what I love about options, truly. Here's the 5-minute chart on SPY. And this morning at open, I was trying to hurry into some puts. Because can we see how some people were trapped on SPY earlier this morning? Oops. What time frame is this? How did I want to look at the hourly? So one of the things I mention often is if I ever do my analysis, I'm like, hey guys, here's my analysis. I am bullish or whatever. And then the stock is gapping down hard the next day. You're like, oh man, Jeremy is trapped. Even if he's in the trade or he's not in the trade, he was bullish. So if he was bullish, other people are bullish. So people are going to be trapped. So let's see if I can make some money on the downside, you know? So in this example, when SPY gapped down this morning, you know, it was obviously quite bearish. So on that gap down, I did not get filled on this trade. This was another trade I was trying to run and get into, but I just couldn't get filled on the spread on the puts. So that's the reason I say I like options a lot is because you can be in a long position and you can be in a short position. And I really would have preferred having bought those puts this morning and have been in calls and puts at the same time. Being in calls and puts at the same time is usually known as either a straddle or a strangle, depending on what strike price you would have had. In this situation, I would have pretty much been on a straddle because I would have had the 226 puts, so it wouldn't have really been a strangle necessarily. I mean, it kind of technically would have, but yeah. Anyway, so all I'm getting at is SPY was gapping down this morning. So since we know that there was a lot of traders bullish yesterday, especially with the shaved top candle was gapping down this morning, a great opportunity for some quick puts or some quick bearish trades. And that's what the sentiment is all about, right? Ladies and gentlemen, that's what the gaps deliver to us. Gaps bring us and visually paint a picture of how people are feeling. And that's a very, very important thing to keep in mind, okay? It's how people are feeling because that's really what you're trading is you're trading feeling. So if you go into a day and you can look at that chart and say, oh man, I know for sure everybody was bullish yesterday and it gaps down the next day, then short it. Right? Makes sense? And of course, it depends on how big the gap is, how many people are trapped, will depend on how long you short it. If it's just a small little gap, like this right here, boop, you maybe you won't short that long, right? Maybe you won't buy that many puts. You know, and if it's a gap like this that's trapping a lot of people, then yeah, you're going to go get in bullish. So anyway, that's just some sentiment that I want to talk about. Ooh, awesome, Deepak. Well done, buddy. I'm happy to hear that. I'll look at your Amazon here in just a little bit later towards the afternoon. Great trade, great trade. Amazon was a very good bullish move today. So let's go look at Northrop Grumman, ticker symbol NOC. And Northrop, again, so this is a very nice bearish gap and go. Gap action right here. So very nice little bearish gap. We did gap down. We technically have retested, which is, odd, but we did. And now we've broken lower. So on Northrop, this is a stock that I am absolutely on a longer term basis keeping my eyes on for a good buy opportunity in 2017. However, I think we're going to go a little bit lower between now and then. Earnings are January 26th. Let me see if we can snag a retest on this beast. And let me just see if there's any long-term moving averages in my way. Let me see, and we'll make this an official bearish trade. That way we'll have a bullish trade and a bearish trade. Shoot. 100. Have we broken through the 100 before recently is the question I'm going to ask. All right, we bounced off of it like a ball bounces off concrete back in early 2016. And we broke through it here a little bit and kind of made a lower low right there. We did pierce below it here, and we almost got a lower shadow there today. 4 bearish candles in a row. Definitely going to want a retest of that. It's probably not the greatest trade in the world. That's going to be a decent trade to watch for a day trade, maybe. Maybe like an aggressive trade on the hourly or kind of a shorter term. So feel free to just keep your eyes on NOC for the next few days bearishly. Really until earnings. And what I would like to see on Northrop, here's the weekly chart. So today, again, Transportation Thursday, I really expect and anticipate, gosh, that looks good. Man. I would really love NOC at a lower level. Like I would buy with my eyes closed down at 190. But that looks pretty solid. Like there's a retest gap on the weekly, which is why we retested. So that makes sense. Okay. It's retest gap on the weekly. It looks like there's going to be an A, B, C wave. I just don't know how long that C wave is going to come down. Charles says, so if a gap's below the 100, retest it, sell high, buy low. Yep, pretty much. Pretty much. That's why I got that limit sell. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's just my perspective on NOC. That doesn't mean I'm right. But what it simply means is if this is a stock that you're tracking, I would love to buy down here sometime in 2017 because I think NOC and Boeing and kind of the big sector, I think, from presidential elect Donald Trump is defense contracting. I think those are going to be big sectors in 2017, 2018, 2019. Now, the sad part about that is those stocks have already gone bananas. So look at NOC. From 2013, it's gone up 300%. So I want to be careful buying up here because it's safe to say that you're buying high and selling higher, right? Anytime anything's up 300%, you're chasing it a little bit, So let's see if we can pull back. I would love it down here at 190. That's probably my ultimate level, that general area of a longer-term buy, if I can afford it once it gets down there. But until it gets down to that price, I'll probably just be keeping a soft bearish eye on it. It would make sense for us to trade to the 200, but anyway. That's what I got on NOC. It's an okay swing trade. I'll be watching it a little bit more aggressive and semi-actively for an aggressive trade. So let me put that NOC Wednesday, Thursday. Remember, the market's closed on Monday. That was my Southern coming out. Member. Hey, y'all, remember market's closed on Monday. You got Martin Luther King Day, man. Market ain't open, man. Remember that. Market ain't open. Don't trade. Don't happen. All right, let's go look at Ford. Hey, you drive a Ford. Come on now. Get in the truck. Hop on in there. So Ford definitely would have stopped me out on a swing if I would have taken it. The reason I say if, I don't trade Ford. I'm not a big fan of the stock or company. That doesn't mean that it can't be traded, though. I just think Ford's more of a buy low, sell high, pretty boring blue chip type of stock. But if you did take the trade bullish and you got stopped out yesterday and or today, good try. It was a retest gap, right? White candle gapping up, retested to the 200 simple, and you got a nice little new white soldier, one white soldier candle on the 10th of January, and then we broke lower. Steven said, is the room closed Monday? Yep, room is closed Monday morning and the afternoon as there's no market. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I'll be sending out a video. I'll be sending out an email. So there's Ford. That's really about it. So here's your weekly charts. Let me see. Look on the weekly. 1219. 1219 is still that key level. It's been a key level for a long, long time. You got your lower trend. You got the 100 simple moving average. Let's just continue to wait on Ford. Again, I look at this for 3 or 4 traders who like Ford longer term. And I look at it for them. I don't personally trade Ford, but hey, that's it. Buy low, sell high, longer term blue chip. Kind of looks like a nice, well, doesn't look nice at all. It looks hideous. Absolutely miserable looking inverted head and shoulders pattern. But it is retesting. So if it keeps pulling back to this price, this is the buying area just for a longer term level. All right, Ford, done. Let's go look at Boeing. So I just talked about Boeing with Northrop Grumman. And Boeing, I do not want to take this breakout. So here's the breakout that I'm referring to. Here's your weekly chart. And if you pull up a weekly chart, it's safe to say on Boeing that we may or may not have been here before. But it's more safe to say that we may have been here before rather than may not, because we have. It's a statistical numerical fact that we've been here before. And the last time we were here, we sold off on Boeing. So it's kind of a sell high, buy low kind of a time period. And here is what I'm looking for on Boeing. And I will pull up the chart on Boeing, but I do think this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do think Boeing continues higher. Back in October, and I think at this point I can probably take that note off. I think you guys have all seen that note plenty of times by now. October 26th, 2016, I mentioned confirmed longer term 5+ month breakout. So it's only been 2 months, not even 2 months since then. So another month on a pullback and then another 2 or 3 months higher would make sense to me on Boeing. So here's that, where is it? Here's the wave count right here. So this was posted not too long ago, but again, just so we can have it. So a lot of counts on it. Well, this was about a month ago, right? So I drew in that we were in the month 3 and that we would come up to 160. So that was back when we were at 152. So from there we moved, 6, 7 points, traded up to the resistance. Now that this is the wave 3, I think wave 4 potentially pulls back to 145. It doesn't have to, of course, but that's what I'm anticipating. Therefore, it's keeping me patient. Here is the drawing and the trade analysis back in November timeframe. October, yeah, back from October, and that was the trade. Like, hey, buy the dip, and this is a confirmed breakout. So those are the two that I'm kind of talking about on Boeing. Some solid analysis, great trading by a lot of you on it. So really, I'm just waiting up here. Earnings on Boeing isn't too massively far away. So let me pull the daily chart back up, and we'll see that Boeing is late January. So Stan has a 148 put sale because he does not mind owning shares on Boeing. What would be phenomenal is if Boeing hangs out here until earnings, right? And then if earnings gaps up here, ladies and gentlemen, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bullish would you be on Boeing? Deepak's giving me an 8. Mark gives me an 11. So does Justin Jeffrey, but most of you guys are giving this a high 10. I'm the same way. I'd give it a really 9 or above. I'd have to kind of see the candles, but really if it trades sideways into this area, it doesn't really make a bunch of lows, and then we gap above that all-time high, I'll put it this way. I'm not going to be buying puts. Let me rephrase. I'm not going to be buying puts. All right. So, Justin said, but at a resistance currently. Exactly. So if it just keeps trading sideways and then does that until earnings, same thing with Netflix, folks. Same thing with Netflix. It's the exact thing I'm expecting, hopefully next week. All right, let's talk a little bit about earnings. We'll talk about Delta in just a second, pretty non-event. Here's American Airlines. American Airlines. And here's the daily chart on American Airlines. So we had a little bit of a lower shadow today. My lines will load in just a second. This stock at also a really strong resistance. So here's the resistance level. And earnings on American Airlines are not for a while. So here's what's interesting. I have a little bit of a box down here, and I'll draw it in a second. I also think this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you guys see the waves pretty clearly on this one? My only question is, how low will wave 4 go? Is this it? Will we go higher? Maybe, maybe not. Probably. Eventually we go higher. I just don't know if we're going to continue to go sideways before we do that or what. But I will say, since earnings are right around the corner, here is the daily chart, back to the daily chart on American Airlines. What I would really like to see is this kind of looks like a little bit of a bearish evening star reversal. This green box is my buy zone. So if we come back down to that price. So let me do this. Let me consider a put sale, maybe 1 week over earnings. I'm getting a little leveraged, a little highly leveraged on put sales, but I've looked at them, and all the ones I'm going to have should expire in 6 trading days. But I've said that before. But really, I mean, most of them are all 15% away or more. So again, if the market sells off 15% between now and next Friday, I'm going to eat a shoe. I might maybe mean that literally. I don't know. I've never eaten a shoe before. Probably wouldn't be that good for my digestive tract. But anyway, let's go look at a February week 1. And I'd like to do like a 42 put sale. Let's just see what kind of premiums down there, because I would not mind owning shares on American Airlines. That's the thing. I really wouldn't mind owning. I don't really want to buy them now. I want them to buy them lower. So this way I can make money if the stock continues higher, and if I actually do get put some shares. 42 put sales, only 20 cents. All right, looks like I'm waiting. So for right now, for me, nothing on American Airlines, except this is a potential wave 4. Let it continue to chop around here, but I like it more on a longer term, 3-month plus basis. I don't see anything on a short-term level right now, unless, of course, tomorrow opens below the low of today. Can anyone tell me why that would be bearish? It's because of the lower shadow. Yes, thank you, other Jeremy. If the stock gaps down because today you had a nice lower shadow and the low of that shadow is about the exact same low of this white candle, then people will be trapped and it'll be a little bit of a bearish move. Yeah, so that's American Airlines. Here is Delta Airlines, ticker symbol DAL. And Delta had earnings and nothing happened. So we're just hanging out. Here's the interesting thing on the weekly chart on Delta. The gap, pretty much a non-event. This 52.51 resistance is right at the all-time high price range. Now, again, what's interesting on Delta is I do think this is also a wave 4. The question is, how long will this wave 4 last? So here it is. Boom, 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 wave 4, wave 5. I've looked. You can get 10% ROI on a 54-55 bear call spread expiring the last week of January. I can only get about 2 check marks, maybe 3, for that bear call spread. So since that's the case, I probably won't take that trade. I can get more check marks for the bullish, or maybe an iron condor on Delta. But just note that it's at a resistance. The iron condor would actually make a little bit of sense. Maybe I'll probably should check that one out while we're on the topic. Let's go look over here at Delta. So where would that bull put spread be? Oh yeah, 46. 46 would be great. All right, last week in January. And it says, could you please stay away from the wagers that are going to make you sick? I need to come up with more wagers. Yeah, that's true. I do. I have to agree. I got to come up with some more interesting things. Will, you're going to have to help us, man. Help us come up with some crazy ideas, some good stuff. All right, W. Give me like 20 seconds. Yahoo Finance goes a little bit slow, or I could just pull it up on my other computer. But that takes time as well. All right, January 27. Again, I'm looking at a 46-45 bull put spread, 55-54 bear call spread for an iron condor, and that is only 2.5 weeks away. No, 46 has no money though. So right here, I could sell for approximately 8 cents, and I could buy down here for maybe 5. Nah. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. All right, so that's Delta. Nothing on Delta. Nada. Zilch. Lockheed Martin is next on the list. Ticker symbol LMT. Another stock that I'm bullish on in 2017. Just waiting for a good pullback. Down here to 230 or so on a longer term level. So again, a lot of the defensive contracting stocks have already made some big moves. Pull them up on a weekly chart and find out when you can buy them at a low price on a weekly. So Lockheed Martin, this was another stock that I was looking at potentially trading with the weekly options newsletter last week, and it would have worked very well. Very similar to NOC. You had a big bearish gap, and there's a lot of support down here, earnings coming up. So I don't have anything specifically to talk about on NOC other than I'm a smidge bearish coming into earnings. We'll see what happens. That's Lockheed Martin. That's pretty much all I got. All right, next on the list, Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines, we'd love to have you. Ticker symbol LUV. And here is the weekly chart on Southwest. Again, pulling up the weekly chart just to show a lot of you guys who are either watching this live or on the recording what this chart looks like on the bigger picture. We are battling right now the all-time highs. So the all-time high on Southwest was 51.34, and we made it this week to 52.20. So we have a new all-time high the last 2 weeks. It does appear that we are breaking out of a flag pattern. Right? So here's your flag pattern. 1, 2, 3. I mean, that's a pretty weak wave 4. It's really tough to go bullish on some of these trades. I mean, you're at a resistance. There's no real candlestick patterns. They're saying, hey, get in bullish. Here's your exponential moving averages. Stan's got a $50 covered call expiring next Friday, and he will not be upset about getting exercised up here. 50 EMA is nice. Earnings is coming around the corner. I don't think I'm going to have anything on Southwest. I'm going to wait until earnings. Earnings season is here, folks. It is here. So I'm going to wait for some good gaps, and from there we can start playing some stuff. Let's see if Southwest can gap down. I'd love to buy it at a lower level. Nice pun, Charles. Very nice. Charles says, see, money can buy me love, spelled L-U-V. That's very clever. It's frequent trader point worthy clever. Charles, thanks for making the pun. Maybe that will be added to Justin Linderman's book. Angie's got yourself that frequent trader point on your record. Thank you, Charles. Matt says, how often do you sell a put and hold over earnings? Rarely. Rarely. Only when I really want to own the stock. So first of all, I can only do it once every 3 months because that's when earnings are. And then secondly, when I want to actually own the stock. So if I can get a decent premium really far away on a stock I would not mind owning, I'll sell the put. So, I mean, literally wouldn't mind owning. So if it gapped down there, I'm like, okay, cool. I'll buy some shares on here. Not a big deal. You know, so let's say I did my risk, right, Matt? Let's say I wanted to buy at 47. I was comfortable with that, and based on my technical analysis, my stop was 45. So that's a $2 risk, correct? $2 risk on the trade, and I say, all right, what's the swing trading R? So let's say your swing trading R is 1,000, 1/10 of a big stack of high society. So $1,000 divided by $2 is 500 shares that you could purchase. 500 shares equates to 5 contracts. Bing, bong, boom. There you go. Right. So as long as it doesn't get below 45, you have nothing to worry about with the trade. And if it does, then from that point, you can still factor in how much premium you received and still get a little bit more wiggle room, you know, kind of take it from there. So that's pretty much it. Great question. All right. That's Southwest Airlines. Here's Hawaiian Airlines, which I still have not gotten the chance to fly yet, but hopefully it'll happen at some point. Ticker symbol HA. And the last time I looked at Hawaiian Airlines, I believe was on this day right here, the 4th of January. Was that last transportation Thursday? 5th of January. There's the trigger. Okay. So I had a little bit of a trigger that said, hey, if it closes below 54.99, I want more of a pullback. You'll note that we actually have not closed, right? Trigger, end of day. We have not closed below 55 bucks yet. So I'm not bearish on Hawaiian Airlines. I'm not buying puts. I'm not shorting the stock. What this trigger is allowing me to do is just say, hey, Newsom, keep being patient, man, because that's the key of trading, folks. If you feel rushed into a trade, you are. If you have to ask the question, did I miss the trade? You did. The answer is within your question. So usually the best time to take a trade is when not a lot of people are talking about it. So here's your resistance. This is what I would really prefer to buy Hawaiian Airlines is around 50. Hawaiian Airlines and Alaskan Airlines both have increased a dramatic amount in the last 3 to 4 years. I mean, we're talking big numbers. Big numbers. So 2013, Hawaiian Airlines was $7. So right now it's at 50. So we're talking over 500% return. You know? So big deal. Alaska Airlines, same thing. Massive, massive returns. And again, this week you have a really, really solid candle. And it's like, hey, we're continuing higher. Here's your all-time high on Alaskan Airlines, the previous all-time high, and we retested, right? We broke out. Shocking that we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white candles in a row on a weekly chart, breaking out of an all-time high, and we pulled back. What a crazy event. That's insanity. So broke out of an all-time high after a bunch of white candles in a row. We've retested Alaskan Airlines. There are a few traders, Stan and a few others who got some put sales and stuff like that going on. Pretty decent bounce, right? You can see the difference between this gap, this candle, and this volume as compared to any of the other airlines recently. I mean, that was really like, hey, you know, we're doing something here. So that gap up, pretty nice, especially since it gapped up above the high of the bearish candle that came, not the bearish candle, but we opened above the high of the candle that came in on the 9th of January. So yeah, people were trapped when it opened. Great little flag, and you know, we're making a higher high. So I'm not saying this is the best time right now to buy Alaskan Airlines. If you're not in, the new pullback would probably be about 91, but yeah, a lot of volume, and earnings are right around the corner. So the only time I hold a trade over earnings if I'm doing a options trade and or if I don't mind being in that trade, being in that stock longer term. So if I'm buying it or if I'm already in it and I want to be in for a while. So that's Alaska Airlines. Will, I got it on the list, I believe. Do I? I had it on the list. I'll do my best to talk about it, but I did post a chart on it in TradingView. So if you follow us in TradingView, you should probably have that in your email inbox. Here's Tesla, ticker symbol TSLA. And Tesla, I don't have too much to talk about on Tesla other than we're still in a nice little weekly trend right now. The trend is strong. The trend is strong in this one. Neil's has a put sale expiring next Friday. Earnings are not until February. With a little bit of bearish pickup today, we can hop over to Tesla and see if there's any kind of bull put spread premium for my traders who do like credit spreads. Let's pull this up and slide down to sometime before earnings. Maybe January week 5. 207.50, 205, something like that. Let's just see what kind of premium. We got 19 minutes left together. All right. Insurance stock react after Senate takes step to repeal Obamacare. Oh, man. That's going to be some interesting newsworthy stock movement right there. Okay, bull put spread, 207.50. I could get for 62 cents. 62. And then the 205 I could buy for 50 cents. What do you guys think? Is 12 cents, is that good premium for that particular spread? The margin is $2.50. The premium that we'd be getting is 12 cents. I'm not very good at math. That's going to equal about a 5% return on your investment, AKA, meh, not very good. 7% is about the lowest I'll ever go with a credit spread. And that needs to be one I'm like, oh, yeah, this is going to work all day or a day. So 10% is kind of like 10 to 13 to 14 is a pretty comfortable range. So anyway, the answer is no. There's no real good premium there on Tesla for a bull put spread. Yeah, so all right, we'll just keep looking at Tesla. Here's the weekly. And I do like this candle. I do think next week pulls back a little bit on Tesla. So my guess is we pull back to the 100 simple moving average on a weekly chart, which is approximately 220.58. So we could pull back to that next week and then potentially bounce. So just keep that in mind, especially if for some crazy reason Tuesday the market opens below the low of this week's white candle. That'd be a pretty big deal. Justin said NMAR calls with a target of 260. All right, I'll see if I can get a chance to look at MAR today, and if not, I'll put on the list for tomorrow, brah. Oh, March. Sorry. How dumb. Not bad, dude. I'm like, NAR, what is that? No, you're cool, man. That's all good. Justin J. March calls. Target 260. 260. All right, man. Yeah, I'll say MAR is Marriott. I was like, a target of 260. Wow. Beast. Okay. Facebook's not on the list today, but I'll put on there just in case we get time. And if not, I'll definitely look at it tomorrow. All right. Let's see. Where are we at? Tesla. Okay. CSX. Here is CSX. And CSX is also at the all-time high breakout levels. So CSX has been on a rocket ship and had a really, really gorgeous breakout back here in July when we started talking about the breakouts on CSX. I thought I had lines on CSX. There you go. They just loaded. So 37.60 and 33.15 are my support resistance lines on CSX. Here is the daily chart. And the daily chart, again, you're breaking out at all-time highs, ladies and gentlemen. If you're looking at buying anywhere up here, it's never been higher. You've got to be looking to wait to buy that dip, right, buy that pullback. Here is retest number one, double bottom, close above the neckline. There's the pullback. Earnings is right around the corner. So if you're looking at selling a put, I do not think CSX breaks below 36 on earnings. I don't personally want to own shares of CSX. I don't think it's that amazing. But here's what I will say. Based on this weekly time frame, you had a great, great breakout. Let me pull up the last CSX chart that we looked at. I mean, this is a gargantuanly strong move, right? It's going to be hard to play this thing bullish directionally up here. Look at this. I mean, guys, this is CSX. It's increased like 40%, which I will say that a lot of us thought that would have happened after the last earnings. They posted really good numbers, and on a technical chart, it was on fire. Mark said that complex inverted head and shoulders pattern played out beautifully. Exactly. You're totally correct. So here was our chart and our analysis from 6 months ago on CSX. And back on the 14th of July, I mentioned the last 2 days is the confirmed bullish break out of a longer-term 4 to 5 month swing trade. So that was back in July 2016. November put sales do have decent premium. Some traders did November put sales. If you're looking to play, buy the dip. So here was the breakout of that complex inverted head and shoulders, and you'll see that the dip process took about a month. It just traded sideways. There was the dip opportunity, and boom. So we're talking a solid 40-ish% ROI since July, which on CSX is pretty much unheard of. So that's an amazing return. You're at all-time highs. So the trade's already happened, right? When no one's talking about it, that's when it's a good time usually to look at something. So anyway, here on CSX, if you're looking at playing it, buy the dip on the longer-term level. Looks bullish, waiting for that wave 4 to come in. All right, UPS and FedEx. What can Brow do for you? Here's the weekly chart on UPS. Matt says, I think it's got the Trump bump, part of the industrials. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, most stocks did, but I'd have to agree. There's a lot of them for sure. So United Parcel Service, a.k.a. UPS, a.k.a. the people who deliver a lot of packages. You got a weekly chart. My line will load here in just a second. There you go. So let me pull this down just a little bit, actually. So this area, you'll notice on UPS, also a hideous inverted head and shoulders pattern. Broke out, retested, and then bounced. So UPS, all-time high. We have retested the all-time high. This is the area that one could expect a bounce on UPS around the 112 price range. As a reminder, folks, there's no way I'm trading all these stocks, right? I'm looking at these for some traders. There might only be one trader out there in the real-life trading universe who wants to look at UPS, but for that one trader, we're going to be looking at it. So bottom line is on UPS, I'm short-term bearish, meaning I want to retrace a little bit more. Longer term and intermediate term, it's a buy the dip kind of a move. You had a big breakout. I think this is some kind of C wave of the Elliott wave. So A, B, C. And yeah, I like it a little bit lower. The 112, 110. So for an aggressive trade, for any of my active swing traders or day traders, you could look for a break below the low of today. In fact, I'm going to write that down for tomorrow just in case we gap down, because if we do, I'm going to wreck it. All right, Friday morning, UPS. Okay. So if it gaps down below the low of today, I'll look to short it. As it pulls down into these areas, longer term, looks like a good buy opportunity on UPS. Here's FedEx on the daily chart, and FedEx also, you'll see, looks a little bearish. Had a great move into the Santa rally, is what I'm calling it, from November to December. So here's your weekly on FedEx. We'll pull that up and we'll zoom out here in just a second. It's just running a little slow today. But here's your weekly, and again, FedEx, it's up here. Big all-time high breakout. Likely ready for a pullback. So back in November of 17, November 17th, I mentioned yesterday was the quick retest. So this is the quick retest has happened and it moved higher. Now this is the longer term retest. So yes, bigger blue chip long-term stocks like this take forever to do stuff. I get that, but that's what trading is, right? Trading is, the stock market is the #1 dictator between who is patient and wealthy and impatient and broke. That's a Warren Buffett quote, not from me. So FedEx, same thing, right? It's already made its move. Some traders like Mike and a few others locked in some good gains. Now you have a pennant pattern. Now you're waiting for these pullbacks and you're buying the dip. I'm sure you're sensing a little bit of a pattern here. Matt says blue chips are slow and steady. Exactly. So here's Caterpillar, ticker symbol CAT, another pretty blue chippy stock. And Caterpillar also, ladies and gentlemen, a very large and ugly inverted head and shoulders pattern. So there it is. Boom, breakout, retest, all that kind of good stuff. Breakout, retest, breakout, retest. Probably continuation higher. I do like Caterpillar. This is one of the stocks, one of the companies I know how they make money. I used them relatively frequently in construction or farming or agricultural issues. 97.57 is probably a little bit of a target. I like it bullish to neutral on a daily chart. It looks bullish to neutral in my opinion. There's nothing sexy short term. Earnings are somewhat around the corner. I can already draw the price that I'll be looking at on earnings is an open below the long-term moving averages to be bearish. That'll be a pretty bearish gap if it opens below there. If it doesn't and it kind of gaps down to the 100, which is about 89, I'm going to look to go bullish, probably with bull put spreads or some shares or some calls on CAT. All right, right meow. Let's go look at ticker symbol DE, which is Deere and Company. Deere and Company. Come on now. So DE, again, on a weekly time frame. The reason I'm looking at the weekly, just so that a lot of you guys kind of get an idea of what everything is, what everything looks like on a longer term level. So Deere and Company, trading views running a little slow today. Don't know why. Anyway, it's pretty much at an all-time high. Huge breakout on Deere and Company. This is another stock. You can feel free to jot this one down. In fact, let me just go ahead and do a longer term chart on it right now. Okay, huge distribution breakout. There should be more data than that. At least I thought there was. Pretty sure there's more data than that. Yeah, there is. It'll load in a second. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this wave. I can already tell you where we're going the next 2 years on Deere. Deere and Company. Matt, call your hedge fund buddies. Let them know DE on the way higher. Okay, I'm going to take off the long-term moving averages. Look at that breakout, guys. This is huge. Huge, huge, huge. Long-term, though, there's nothing short-term about this, in my opinion. So something like this. DE 2017, 2018 projections. DE is breaking out of a huge distribution phase. Longer term, nothing is stopping it now. Stopping it now. All right. Down. DE. When's the last time I had a DE trade? Oh man, I only got 6 minutes to go. Jeez. I've been chatty Cathy today, apparently. Do I have anything on DE? No, I guess not. Okay, DE. Bam, bam. Publish. Assets gone sideways past 5 or 6 years. Exactly. Yep. You're on all panelists, by the way, Matt, so no one can see you talking. So they probably think I'm talking to an imaginary Matt. Just FYI, it's not a big deal. Just letting you know. I just want you guys to know I do have friends. I'm not just talking to myself. All right. So those are the FIB projections. I like it. Stan has a put sale that expires next week, and that'll be fine. All right. DE looks good. Ticker symbol CP, which I think is Canadian Pacific Railway A. Really good breakout on Canadian Pacific as well. I mean, look at this gap on the daily chart. Huge, right? Monster move. And you've experienced 25% growth on this trade. Here's the daily chart on CP. What chart was I just looking at then? That's weird. This doesn't look anything like what I was just looking at. Why is TradingView going so slow right now? And what in the world was the chart that I just looked at? I'm gonna have to like look at the recording to see what in the world that was. Well, sorry, that's strange. Okay, anyway, CP, Canadian Pacific Railway, channel. Boom. Analysis is done. Buy low, sell high. Down. Channel for your day. So right now it's kind of right in the middle of it. CP in a channel. Buy low, sell high. Down. So it actually trades down there right now. I mean, it's a little neutral, but I'd say long. You know, I wouldn't just buy it right where it is because it's right smack in the middle of that channel. So again, when you're playing channels, when you're playing anytime it's a buy low, sell high, you want to do a little bit. You want to be patient, right? Because it's gonna take it sweet and merry time. Okay. CP done. All right. Next on the list, let's see what we have next on the list here is Expedia. Ah, yes. Expedia.com. So I wanted to do a trade on Expedia. Snapdragons, it looks good. Oh, man. Look at that gap and that continuation. Ugh. Okay, so there's only one thing that I'm like, well, and it's a long-term moving average. I think at this point, I'm just going to have to say whatever. There we go. Oh, wonderful. I already had the trade set up. So that was it yesterday. Oh my gosh, TradingView, man, you're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls. This one's a tough one because I'm like, okay, if it breaks out and closes, do I want to take it after it pulls back, or do I want to take the breakout? Because you have the 100 right there. This is tough. This is really tough. But I'm gonna wait for this to break out. I said this yesterday. Breakout, retest, bounce. So once it closes above there, then I'm gonna set an official trade setup. Yeah. All right, Expedia, we're going to just put it on the list for tomorrow again. EXPE. All right, Hanes Brands. Seriously, HBI. This is the last time I'm going to look at Hanes Brands because I wanted yesterday to see what it was going to do. Yeah, I wanted to see if it was going to close above here and kind of give me more of a setup. It's not, so I'm going to put that one on the list for, let's look at it on Wednesday. And if it doesn't do anything exciting by Wednesday, we'll just kind of keep moving on. Next on the list is LULU, ticker symbol LULU. And LULU, a few traders in bullish on this one, down 1% today. I mean, realistically, I'm going to be watching this one tomorrow as well. UPS and LULU for some weekly options expiring tomorrow. An open below this price or a move below this price, I'm in it to win it because I know some traders are in there bullish. Very nice doji today, almost perfect. LULU, you can almost bracket trade that doji today. So for those who are in bullish, I hope it bounces. I really do. That's all I got, honestly. The trend is bullish, but today is a great little doji. So if we open below there, I'm going to be looking to buy some puts tomorrow. That expire tomorrow. So I'm going to be in that trade like an hour. Disney, ticker symbol DIS, a little bit bearish today. You got yourself a one black crow candle today at a resistance. So on Disney, we're going to look at this one more tomorrow. As of today, keeping my eyes on for a quick bearish trade on DIS, which might be another weekly options newsletter trade potentially. I will say we have broken out of a resistance on Disney. That is true. This trade could get a little goofy, but what I don't want to happen is if you get, I'm going to go ahead and move the stock up right here. So you got 107.27. We could easily just be retesting that level. So that's why I'm probably going to be trading this with options relatively quickly, but I do kind of dig it. And I'm going to be watching this trade, and I promise I won't be as quiet as a mouse if I actually do take it. So I won't have time for Amazon, AOI, or Facebook. I planned today apparently perfectly to the second. So here's what we're going to be looking at tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen: Amazon, AAOI, and Facebook. If you have any additional questions or any other stocks, you're welcome to email me and let me know. I did send out an email today just kind of updating everybody the pricing structure for the new special we have running on for the trading room. So this week we've had all week for free. I don't do sales pitches very well, so it's very simple. It's $179, which is the cost of my cell phone bill every single month. And for $179, you're going to get the afternoon trade, which you're in right now, the morning room, which is the day trading room, and the weekly options newsletter, all for $179. It's an amazing offer. Get it if you want. I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, the price will be going up soon. We're just like the stock market, Apple, and Google, and housing rates. We're just going to keep going up with time. Lock in your rate, because there were traders 2 years ago who got it for $100 a month cheaper, and they're locked in forever, and that price will continue to go higher. So by the next time we do a free enrichment week in June, that number is going to be up. I can assure you. So get in, save some money, Let's trade. Let's enrich lives. Let's be amazing people. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to see you, beautiful people, tomorrow. Thanks so much for trading with me. I'm excited. Tomorrow's Finance Friday. Got Bank of America and Wells Fargo are the top 2 on our list for Friday after earnings. You're amazing. I will see you later. And until next time, remember, love life, and trade. You're right, bud.